welcome back to my channel. So today is day 23 of Once Upon a December, and it's going to be a little bit of a different vlog. I'm not actually going to vlog today, but I am going to do a task that I've been meaning to do. Actually, I'm going to come a little closer because I don't want to be too loud. Bubs is snapping at the moment, but I do want to vlog this whole process. I have finally transferred almost all. I think I have one more costume left at my parents' place that is still there, so I probably won't vlog that part, but it's just I think it's Mizuno Army's junior school uniform, Sailor Moon, but I pretty much have all my cosplay outfits, I think. I think I'm missing a few now that I think about it, that I'm transferring into this room. So this room was supposed to be my office when for lots of different reasons. Like, one, it was at a time, we were moving at a time when I was still pregnant, and like going up and down the stairs was not a thing for me. But also we decided that I would use like the open area downstairs. Like, this home is a little bit on the older side, so how it's set up is still quite traditional in that they have like a formal dining and lounge and then a more family dining lounge area, and we decided that there was no point having two dining tables and two lounge sets. We would never use one set, so we just kept the family area with the kitchen. That's like where we spend 90% of our time. And then the formal living area kind of turned into our music slash a joint office between Tobias and I. That was easy to jump in and out of because it's right next to the kitchen. It's like near everything. Tobias still has his own filming room, just because he doesn't need that space, especially when he's working. For me, I haven't really gone back to my day job just yet, so I haven't really needed that sort of closed off space. But I think when I start work up again, I'm probably going to use this room as an office for that, just so I can kind of make that mental break between working. Like, I'll still go to the office, but I'll have work from home days and I'll work here, and then when I use my like personal office, it's like a different version, if that makes sense. Anyways, I intend to do a lot of things with this room. Behind you is a wall of closet space, which is basically where I'm going to store things like, well, a lot of things get stored here now that I think about it. Stuff that is too small now for our baby. Our baby's 6 months old, so all the newborn stuff is being stored up here. A lot of my pregnancy stuff is being stored here. I'm going to store my cosplay stuff here, my sewing machines, fabrics, sewing stuff. I'm going to store excess clothing items because the wardrobe I have in our bedroom is actually pretty adequate, but the way it's designed is not very functional. I don't know if it's worth getting into, but it's a little difficult to get in and out of, and right now there's the cot right in front of it, so I can only use like a third of it. So most of my clothes are going to be stored here, and then we'll see how we go once the cot is out of our bedroom. And then behind me is where I want to store all my handbags. I don't know whether you guys have followed me for that long, but I used to be really into luxury handbags, like those beautiful white closets with just handbags and walls. That was like something I was really into. Now that I think about it, I'm like, ugh, what a waste of money. But that was how I lived my 20s. I was working the consultant life. I was working for, did I ever mention? I worked for IBM. So I was like working for a big corp and traveling around the world, consulting, all that sort of stuff. And so it was just kind of in that lifestyle, and I was living at home. So I didn't have any real expenses in my life except to just keep myself happy, which is incredibly indulgent. Now that I look back at it, I'm like, Celina, there's so much money you could have saved. You could have been so much financially better off now. But you know, we all have to live the life that makes us happy at the time and learn from it. I wouldn't be where I am if I had not lived that life. But I still have all the handbags, so I think it'd be really nice to set it up behind me. I don't buy handbags anymore. I don't do luxury stuff anymore, but there's a lot of sentimental value attached to it for me personally. A lot of the stuff I got for like birthdays or anniversaries. I have a little set that was my wedding set. So it's almost more like art pieces to me now that I'd like to store up. I have a wall on the side that I want to store some, like frame up some scarves that are also very sentimental. I got, I think, can't remember which country in Europe it was, or maybe it was Hong Kong. I bought this beautiful Hermes scarf that is like the map of the world, and that was in the midst of like all the traveling that Tobias and I did. So this is kind of like a glorified storage room if you think about it, with a lot of memories. So yes, I will slowly set this room up, and I hopefully will vlog the process as I go. I think it'd be really fun. But today, 5 minutes into this video, I wanted to show you guys my cosplay outfits as I store them away. These are like so sentimental to me when I go through them now. They just bring back so many great memories. So I thought I would show them on camera and then hang them up. If I am diligent enough, I'm not sure if I will be, but I will try. If I am, I will try and put a photo of what the costume looked like when I had it on, because it will be a little hard to see when I show it here. But let's get started. A lot of them are in like these suit bags, so I might have to take them out and re-hang them because they're not hung properly. I don't know why I didn't bother to turn this one properly. But okay, this one is my Shia Pita 10 outfit. This is actually the second version because I remember doing an initial first version of it, and this is a little bit better made. Like when I look at some of the detail in these outfits, I'm like, oh man. This one isn't lined, but a lot of the costumes I made were actually lined, which I don't know why I spent so much time doing that, but it was just like a real labor of love for me. Peter 10 was weirdly enough not a show I actually watched. Some of the costumes you'll see, I actually didn't ever watch the show, the anime or the manga. It was purely just interest of the character because aesthetically the character maybe looked like me, was appealing, I have no idea. And this was the hat with the little devil wings. But I didn't put anything in here, so it's just like loose fabric. I really should have put like a headpiece or something, but what I always discovered when I was making hats is that I could never properly judge the size of my head because 90% of the time I'm wearing a wig, so my head is much larger, so I don't know what size the hat needs to be on the inside when I wear it. And one time I made the mistake of just measuring it on the side of my natural head. Then I put my wig on, like you have a wig so you have to like braid up your hair properly so it's like tight against your head. Wig cap and then wig and then hat, and it's like like twice the size at that point. This one is actually, I think, the second iteration, but I never actually got to wear it. I never actually wore it before. It is the school uniform for Yumura Kirika from Noir. It was actually the first cosplay I ever completed, and I was redoing it because my skills were much better. The first time I did this costume, it was the first costume I ever did. My sewing skills were terrible. They weren't good, so I wanted to redo it. I might be really tempted to do a shoot for this because I never got to wear it. I never got to wear. Why is my grammar so bad today? It's kind of hot in this room because it's a little bit hot today, 23rd. I never got a chance to actually cosplay this, and I actually have the jumper that I need to find somewhere in the room, like the little vest jumper that would go perfect for this. I don't know, I'm like low-key tempted to try and cosplay this sometime on the holidays because we'll actually have time, and I've got like 20 wigs. Like I have a tub of wigs that I've never used, and I think I can probably cut up one of the wigs. Okay, I say that now, but I have so many other things I should be doing rather than doing this, so I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know if I'll have any pictures of this, but Yumura Kirika is like my all-time favorite. Oh my gosh, this one I would definitely have lots of pictures of. This is a sailor outfit that I did for Shido Hikaru. I did a lot of Shido Hikaru cosplay because again, she was a character with short wavy hair, but she had like this really beautiful long pigtail. She was like fiery personality. My star sign is Sagittarius, so I really, even though water, blue is my favorite element because I'm a fire sign, I also really love the fiery characters, and she was like the petite girl because I'm always like short. I'm like just under 5'2". So I've always been kind of made fun of for my height. So I always, again, resonated with the short characters. But this was probably made like, what? Back in 2018? No, not 2008. Man, that was like, what is that, 14 years ago now? 14 years ago? Are you crazy? Gosh. Look at the bow and the details. It's like fully lined and everything. Like, I can't believe I did all this stuff. I don't know, sorry if I sound really arrogant, like complimenting myself, but I'm just, oh, and there's like, what is in here? A little hat as well. Sorry, Bubs is awake, so I'm gonna have to go tend to him, and I will be back later today. I'm back. It's actually a little bit later in the day now. We've had lunch, we did a little bit of shopping, so let's keep going with the costumes. So I'm just gonna keep talking about the school uniforms. I apparently had a thing about doing school uniforms. I guess they were just easy to do and they're very quintessential basic cosplay outfits, but this next one, not quite, oh, these are socks. Okay, so this one is the school uniform for Chido Hikaru. Hopefully I'll have some photos I can pin up. You can see the skirts underneath there. Oh my gosh, I love the bows. The bows just look amazing with the little logo and everything. You can see a bit of foundation. My trick with the bows is that, I don't know if you can see, but there's like some buttons in here, so I would make the bows separate and I would sew like little buttons, and then I would just pin them on when I was wearing the costume. Otherwise they'd be separate, so I didn't have to worry about figuring out how to sew the actual bow on. And then these are just the socks that I would have worn. A lot of the shoes that I would have worn for these costumes are long gone now because I reused them a lot. I would just put fabric on them, and very old school at the time. So if I wanted to do any of these again for a shoot, I'd probably have to get new shoes. And some of the wigs are gone as well, so it's really just the costume itself. But oh my gosh, such good memories. So this next one is another one that I actually never shot photos for, so I won't be able to show you any, but this is the school uniform, which actually I think is complete, so I could probably do one in the future. It is Kinomoto Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura, her school uniform, or Tomoyo, whatever one. I love this. Like, this was the thing that was so unique about her school uniform, is that she had these like cape-like drapes at the back. So cute. Now, I don't know, like, there's something weird about someone my age cosplaying like an 8-year-old, but I would still totally do it. Like, no shame. I think it's just fun to play dress up. We have more school uniforms. So this one, I actually don't remember the name, and I actually didn't cosplay this character because I liked the character. One of my friends at the time was cosplaying one of the characters from this anime, and so I just wanted to accompany her. So basically it's a 3-piece, like a little jacket and then a shirt underneath. Well, actually it's like a vest with a skirt, and it's actually, this was actually one of my most comfortable cosplays. It's kind of, I love it. I think Ahiro, I'm not quite sure, but I think this character turns into like the goose or something, or a duck. I really wanted to do the ballet version, because I know that there was a ballerina version of it, but I mean, honestly, I was not very invested in this character because I didn't quite know much about the character, so there was just so many others. My cosplay to-do list is huge. I never actually got to it in the end. I don't even really know what triggered me to stop cosplaying. I think it was starting YouTube, getting into blogging and all that, and that just kind of ran away with me. But prior to all of that, if I was still cosplaying, I'd probably do it just for the sake of completing it. But I really admire people who cosplayed the ballerina version of this character, who were actual ballerinas, so they had like the ballet shoes and were able to do the poses. I would not be able to, so that was something that kind of deterred me a little. So if you guys are Sailor Moon fans, you'll know what this one is. It is the junior winter school uniform. So in season 1, I think 2, during the winter season, this is the school uniform for Usagi, Ami, and I guess Minako? I know Sailor Moon, Mercury, and Venus all wore this uniform. So I created this one for Sailor Mercury because I love Ami. She's my favorite character in Sailor Moon. Love her to death. And it's so cool that it's like interchangeable, because Violet loves Usagi. She is like Sailor Moon. So when we do photo shoots, she can use this costume. She just has to style her hair and we can swap. So I do actually have the senior version as well. I think that's the one that may still be at my parents' house, so I need to transfer that, because Violet's actually coming over tomorrow, and I think it'd be cool, if we have time. I don't know if we'll have time, to be honest, but we could like play dress up or something like that. We're such kids. But yeah, I mean, I just love these so much. I mean, I just look at the cups. Oh, sorry. This is like probably a very obnoxious video to watch. Okay, I think we're coming close to the end of the school uniforms. Maybe, no, maybe not sure. So this is another one I never actually cosplayed. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how many costumes I have that I never actually took photos of or wore, but they're actually pretty much complete and ready to go. So I think it's because I would only wear costumes when I was going to conventions back in the day, and conventions only lasted 2 days. And so when you go to the convention, you want to wear something that's impressive, that photographers want to take pictures of and everything. And a school uniform is not something that a photographer would want to take a picture of. However, they're really fun to make. They're very simple. I could probably do this in a day if I didn't have a baby to look after. But if I was just on my own, I could have probably done this in a day, and it would have been just a really fun, quick shoot to wear. And I think I was mostly doing it because I just enjoyed sewing. Like, I still love sewing. I just don't, it's not a priority anymore right now. But I love the craftsmanship behind sewing. This is actually missing a bow, so I don't think it's actually done. But for some reason, it still has like makeup stains in it, so I don't quite know why I was wearing this. I love the craftsmanship, I love the photos, and then I also just wanted to have a really nice portfolio. By the way, if you do want to see any more photos of my costumes, I do have a website, afableintime.com, which is actually my official cosplay website. It used to be Extreme Motion, and then it got deleted and then just disappeared into the abyss. But I decided to bring it back because you just never know. Like, I feel like I'm generally a pretty creative person. I don't know if people agree with me or not, but I feel that. And creating costumes and everything is just like a real passion. It's just a very time-consuming passion, that's the only thing. So I think this is Sakura from Cardcaptor's summer uniform. I think that's what it is. Because it also has those like drapes at the back, which I really love the drapes. I can't believe I've made 2 Sakura outfits and I've not worn any of them. Not taken photos of any of them, not worn any of them. It just kind of feels a bit sad. But I think also then like not fully completed, so I hadn't gotten around to finishing them off. Who knows, maybe I will. And then maybe in Violet and I can do like a Sakura and Tomoyo shoot together or something, because I mean, Violet's like my best friend and she used to cosplay Sakura, and I feel like with my black hair and everything, I feel like I'd make a pretty okay Tomoyo. I don't know. Maybe. This is going to be a hard one to show because half the costume is kind of hanging down. But this one is a full lined jacket that I tried to make. I will say now I don't think I was very good at making jackets, but it was my first fully attempt. Like you can see, it's fully lined on the inside, so you could do it inside out, and it's really thick and it's actually quite warm. So I can't remember the character's name either. She had like this beautiful orange hair. You'll see photos. There's a shirt underneath. I don't think I made the shirt, I think I bought that. And then I have her skirt just kind of hanging down in the bottom. This is a really, I'm not even sure why I did this costume. Oh man, I remember this one. So I think this was actually the first jacket I ever made. So there is a series called Shoujo Kakume Utena. And oh my goodness, this is lined. Not very well, but it is. It's like silky lined on the inside. So there is a Shoujo Kakume Utena. I never cosplayed Utena because I felt that she was too tall for me, but there was a character, it's a bunch of attending an elite school of people who like to duel, like fencing. There was a character called Miki, and he had a sister called Kaoru, and I loved her. I felt like I connected well with her. She was very devious, but she had short curly hair. You see a trend? And so this was her duelist outfit. She was part of the Black Rose duelist community or something. And so I loved this so much. I actually made the white pants, which in retrospect, I'm like, why did I make white pants? I could have just bought white pants and worn them, but there was a purist in me at the time where I felt like I had to make absolutely everything, like gems, jewelry, everything I had to make from scratch. I felt like I couldn't buy anything. I obviously feel very different about it now. If you see any of my more like recent cosplays, I wouldn't even categorize them as cosplays, but just like, I think the last character I cosplayed was Wednesdays from the Adam family, and I just bought the outfit from Shein. So I don't feel that way anymore. People can do whatever they want, whatever they felt like. But at the time, I had a very purist mindset. And so, but I love this. Like the jacket fully cuffed, everything. Love this. And I actually, you won't be able to see it because I don't think I have it. I did the ballroom version of Kaoru as well. So she has like this massive gown, and I went as far, so I had to like do boning for her corset. And I had to do like, I went to Bunnings, which is like a warehouse, and got piping so I could make this really huge dress. The framing for it you'd see in like the medieval, not medieval, but like the 1700th century or something like that. So you'd have those circular ball gowns to support it. If I have pictures, which I will have pictures, I'll put them up, you'll see. It was pretty full on. Oh, okay. This is not actually a character. This was just me doing me. Okay, the plastic is kind of worn out. It's a beautiful doll-like dress. I will actually just put photos of this. This costume I actually made for a Book of Fables. It's not a character. I just wanted to make a doll-like dress, and I wanted to do like this doll that was kind of tossed to the side of the road with cracks in her face for like a Halloween thing. I did a photo shoot with some friends for it, and I did a video for Book of Fables, so there's probably, if I remember, I will link them down below, but I will show photos. Yeah, it's not an anime character, but I do remember doing a couple original costumes just because I had a character in mind that I wanted to play and I needed the outfit for it. Okay, now we're getting into some like exciting ones. I'm like actually really excited. So, again, I'm probably butchering the name, so Xianghua, I think. If you guys, oh my god, I love this dress. I'm gonna have to show photos because I can't hold them up and do any justice. These are the cuffs and everything. So I got into doing fighter characters towards the end of my cosplay life. So there was a character, Xiangliang, I can't remember. I'm not even gonna try because I'm gonna get it wrong, but I think she's part of Tekken, potentially. And I love this costume so much. It brings back so many great memories because I think I remember the first time I wore it was, I can't remember the convention. Sorry, it's really warm in here. But it was like a gaming convention, and I had these massive fans. So I ordered these fans online, and it took a few days for me to paint them, decorate them, and I was using foam to make it look like they had armor. And so it was really fun to just do lots of poses. It was a lot of fun to do poses and do photos for it because I could pose with the fans. And I feel like the fans made it like my outfit, even though this outfit took me so long. And I actually entered this in a competition with another friend. So I actually have a YouTube video of this as well. And I went to the competition and we won first place. I got $50 for it, which is, these costumes cost me hundreds and hundreds of dollars to make. But it was just really nice to kind of be acknowledged for the effort. I used to judge at cosplay competitions, and I'd enter cosplay competitions, so it was just kind of a really nice feel. I always dreamed of going to Japan to cosplay. There was this WSC, I don't know, cosplay summit, and that was like the ultimate dream for a cosplayer to enter into it, be accepted, and then represent your country. And that was always a dream of mine, but by the time they were accepting entrants from Australia, I was starting to move into YouTube, and so it just started to become less appealing. Plus, you needed a partner, and I didn't actually have any close friends who would cosplay with me, or at least were dedicated to cosplay the way I was in terms of the meticulous detail. Now, if I wanted to, I know Violet would be all up in it. She would be fully on board, but we've got too many other things on life now. This one I feel like is probably pretty recognizable by most people. Snow White. So it's my first Disney character, and you can see it's like this beautiful, oh my gosh, I need to repair this. You can see it's coming out a little, but this is what I mean by sateen. It's like not shiny, not matte, but it's like this very beautiful fabric that is really meant for gowns. And I even have a small petticoat for the dress part, but it's a full dress for the skirt part, sorry. Oh man, if I could I look at these and I'm like, oh, I could redo this so much better, because you can see I basically just embroidered these red patches on, but I think it's actually a double sleeve, so it's like a smaller sleeve on the inside, which is red, and then on top of it is this blue sleeve with the holes, so you can see the red coming through. So that's how I would do it now. Like, I would adhere more accurately to how it was made. But Snow White was such a fun character to cosplay. I actually still used a wig despite having black hair, because I was never a fan of using my real hair. I felt like unless you had incredibly thick hair, people who use their real hair always, like, it kind of made the costume look crappy, because most people have hair that's very thin, so you either need to add a lot of volume to bulk it up, because anime characters, they have unusually thick hair, or you need to use a wig. So even though I could have used my hair, wig it was. I remember doing a photo shoot in Snow White once to try and get the photos, and those are the photos that I'll probably be posting. And it was in Fitzroy Park, Fitzroy Garden, and there were like a bunch of families with children having picnics. And at this time I was quite a bit younger, and in my youth I did not like children at all. So they'd start following me around and be like, Snow White, Snow White. And I was like so uncomfortable. I was like, people, control your children, do not let them come near me. And they'd follow me. And in the end I took the photos and I ran and I left, because I just didn't want to interact with anybody's kids. Obviously now I would feel different about it. I'm not sure what I would do, but yeah, just kind of cool memories. My, I guess you can see how sweaty I am. My memory card literally got too full, so I have put a fresh one in. This is definitely going to be a really long video. But yes, I was talking about Mint. This was like really comfortable. Yeah, a lot of costumes I wore were extremely uncomfortable and just couldn't function as a human. But this was, I don't know if I have photos of the first version I had, which was terribly made. I made everything out of satin, so it was very shiny. This one, I started to understand that at this point, firstly, you need things to thicken up costumes, to thicken up fabric, to give it more structure. I didn't understand that before. And you need to use different textures in your fabric. So the ones that the jackets or the gowns tend to be a bit more sateen. Some skirts and dresses actually should be cotton, even though it probably isn't the most comfortable, not the most flowy, but we're not talking about practicality here. We're talking about for photography reasons and for artistic reasons, because you want things that don't, that technically kind of absorb the light or don't bounce it back into the camera lens. So anything ultra shiny like satin is a like definite no-go for cosplay, because you're just going to reflect the light back and it's going to look awful. So I'd almost go as far as to say that if you're in doubt, suddenly giving cosplay advice here, if you're in doubt, always use cotton, because at least it won't reflect any light back. But if you're confident with yourself, you can start adding a little bit of things with polyester in it, because it will flow better, it will sit and hang better, and sateen is really good as well. Oh my goodness. This one I remember. I don't think I can even take it out. It is much too big. This, I'll just pop up this side. Do you guys remember this one at all if you've been following? Look at how long these sleeves are. Oh my gosh, so badly done. I could totally do a better job. This video is making me want to redo all my costumes. There's like chest armor here as well. This is Seth Nightrose. And I don't remember the series, and I've never watched the series, but you will see, when you see the character, you'll be like, oh, I understand why Celina did her. She looks like Celina. This costume, oh my god, it's so heavy. It's like 4 kilos. Sorry, I had to hang it up. It was too heavy. I couldn't hold it. I think it was like maybe 6 or 7 kilos. It has a really beautiful long train, a jacket, massive hat, which I don't even know if the hat's in there, but a huge hat. It was like it was a costume I made to get attention at a convention. It was very big and very uncomfortable, and I couldn't really, that's the costume that I couldn't use the bathroom or eat in, because how would I go with this massive train? So I was literally at the convention for 1 or 2 hours, take a bunch of photos, pose, see friends, and then I was back home again, which, you know, was fine for the time. I do wish I had done a proper photo shoot with this, and like, I still, like, when I think about it now, I'm like, oh, I think I'd want to remake it if I was doing a proper photo shoot, but in what time? As always what time? But the fun fact about that costume is I used 1,000 meters of gold thread because I was embroidering the train. I'm gonna see if I can show you because I feel like the train was the most impressive part of this outfit. I mean, you can see that I did quite a bit of embroidering even here on the collar. This collar was so horribly made. I need to do it again if I just like, yeah, anyways. But the train, oh my goodness, the train. I don't think I can take it out actually. It's just so heavy. It's all like packaged in. I'll put some photos up and I'll try and zoom in on the train, but the train was like so much gold embroidering. Yeah, I ended up using like, oops, sorry. I ended up using almost like, yeah, over a kilometer of gold thread, and I've never done that in my whole life, and I thought that was just like a really fun fact that that's how much it took. Moving on to this one, this is a character, oh man, this makes me sad because I actually never took photos of this character even though I did go to a convention with her. So, and this is like, you see buckles in front of her and everything. This character is called Sue. Ooh, sticky. There's some leather in here. This character is called Sue from Clover, and it's this beautiful white jacket that flows, and she has like this bodysuit that's just ends up in shorts underneath this black bodysuit, and she had these most beautiful mechanical white wings that stuck up at the back. And what makes me so sad is I actually did go to the convention with those mechanical wings. Tobias, I remember, so Tobias has been with me throughout my entire cosplay journey. I remember that he came with me not even as my boyfriend, as a friend, when I first did my mint costume, my second one. And then 2 weeks later, we became official boyfriend-girlfriend. And ever since, he's been with me for my cosplay journey. And he's been really good at helping me with a lot of the props, whereas I do all the costumes itself. So I remember he was staying up, helping me with the mechanical wings. And they looked amazing. Like, seriously, I wish I had taken some photos. I wish I had the sense to take photos indoors before I took it out. Because the only problem is those wings were demolished by the wind the second I stepped outside, and so I actually never ended up getting photos of this costume, which just killed me because I put so much effort into it, and I know Tobias put so much effort into those wings, and so I always said that we'd repair the wings and then we'd come back and try and take photos, but obviously we never got around to doing it. But the costume's still here if we ever change our mind. Alright, this one is a really fun costume and one of my most comfortable as well. So this is Xiao something, another character from Tekken, fighting character, and you can see this is all painted. I wish if I was to do this again, I would embroider this entire chest piece because I think that's what it should have been instead of painted, but from a distance it looks fine. This was so much fun. I actually wore it twice. First time with my real hair, and then the second time I think I wore a wig because I wanted it to be thicker. But it was such a comfortable costume. I mean, look at these shorts. I can't believe I made these shorts. Go me. I did at least have the sense to try and embroider the design on the side of the shorts. But yeah, this was incredibly comfortable to walk around with, and it still was like an eye-catching costume that people seem to recognize. This one was another Sailor Mercury outfit. It was the princess dress. And I actually did film is there a wig down there? No, her wig's down there. I actually did film a YouTube video with this, so I'll link that down below if I remember and post photos. But I remember one year, I don't know if it was for anime or Armageddon or Anime Expo or Manifest, but one of the conventions had a gala, a dinner or something like that, so you had to wear like really formal outing wear. And so I decided to cosplay Sailor Mercury, but in her princess gown, so this is what it was. And I went to dinner, and it was really fun because I felt really elegant and dressed up, but it was really tight. I don't know if I have pictures of it where it's like it cinches my waist in to be itty bitty, so I couldn't actually eat food because there was no space for me to eat food, and I felt sick after eating a little bit because I just didn't have the space to expand my stomach. So that was an interesting night, but I had so much fun. Oh, this one, I love this costume, and I actually wore this to work one time more as a gag because I was dead to do it, and I actually went to work in it. This is it Kairu or something from Kingdom Hearts? Oh man, I love this costume so much. It was, again, a very comfortable costume. I still have the wig down there. Super comfortable costume, and I just love all the zip details on it. You can see that zippers all over the front, those belts. It's a very cool, sort of like cool vibe costume. And it was very, it was because I think this costume itself had a lot of detail, but overall still a pretty simple costume and very comfortable to wear. It felt like it gave me a lot of it was very relaxing to make. Like I didn't have to think about, what about the hat? What about the gloves? What about the socks? What about this? What about the jewelry? It was just the dress. And so I could really pour myself into investing in all the little details, like even the little fisheye hoops and everything. This was probably one of my favorites to make because of that. I have 3 more left, and then I'm pretty much done showing you my costumes. So again, this one is going to be a very hard one to show because it is just lots of bits and pieces. Oh, and the wig just fell down. Something fell down. So I'm not going to show it to you, but I will show you pictures. I think this is another version of this shell. Oh, jeez. So this costume is from a character from Soul Calibur, Xianghua, I think. I'm getting them all mixed up now. And I really love this costume. It just felt very... I like costumes that allowed me to have a lot of movement, and this was one of them. And I had a sword and everything, so that was one of my favorite props. Oh, wait, not my most favorite prop. I will show you what my favorite prop was. But it was a very like cool character, and I felt like I could do a lot of movement and cool poses. Second last one is Eureka from Eureka 7. This one, again, was a very comfortable costume. It was really easy to make. I love that I had the sense to embroider a very simple logo on the shoulder this time instead of painting it. I love when I actually take time to embroider my costumes because I feel like it just lifts it to another level. But this was one of my favorite costumes. I, again, have to admit I don't watch Eureka 7, so I don't know much about the character, but she was just so, such a cool character to cosplay. It's a little bit like Ayanami Rei from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I really wanted to cosplay Rei. I actually have already bought the wigs to cosplay her maybe one day. I don't think I'll do her bodysuit. I definitely will do her school costume if I ever do cosplay her, but maybe I'll get the guts to do the bodysuit. It's the same as the characters like Nene from Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040. I love her bodysuit, but if I was to do her bodysuit, it has all these LEDs and it's like literal armor, so that would take quite a long time. But those were like my next, like I wanted to do, after these costumes, the next one I wanted to do involved like full armor, like hard armor, not just like Wonderplex, but real armor of like, I can't remember the name now, but it's stuff you can get at Bunnings that's actually used for plumbing. Wanted to do those, and I wanted to do stuff that had LED lights in it, so I would have to have like electronics and battery powered so I could like glow. That was the next stage, and I just think those would have been such cool costumes if I actually got around to it. Alright, last but not least, because I just realized I don't have my Final Fantasy VIII Renoa costume here. I think it's still at my parents' house, and there's probably a couple others I still don't know where they are. This one was probably my pride and joy, one of the last costumes I made, and it is my literal pride and joy. Like, if I was to keep one costume, this would be it. This is my Shido Hikaru warrior outfit, and I will post all the photos because I did a full-blown photo shoot with this one. This is a labor of love, guys, because I made the sword, the massive sword that's actually my height, and you'll see it in the photos. That took 6 weeks to make because it was made out of balsa wood with tons of Wonderplex, so a lot of carving and a lot of heating and molding and painting. And I really wanted to do a full-on outfit, like a shoot, so I got 2 friends to do Fu and Umi, who are the other accompanying warriors in Magical Knight Reath, and I wanted to do Hikaru, so they had to create their costumes, but I made all their swords, so somewhere I still have all the props. I think they're at my parents' house, they're probably still there. I'll have to bring them over at some point, but yeah, I made all their swords, and I remember my dad and Tobias working on the swords, and I interchanged with them working on the swords. And I mean, I don't know if you can see, like these gems, these are all casted resin gems that I made myself. I made their gems as well so they could put them on their costume. It was a full-blown, I even had to extend the wig. So for Hikaru, because she has that pigtail, and I didn't want to use the old wigs that I had, I wanted to make something new, which is actually still down here. I got like just a short wig, and then I bought another wig of the same color, and I cut the bands off and sewed them into the back of the short wig and then braided it so I could get like a really nice lush pigtail. And it has this beautiful long cape, which was just perfect for taking photos. You just twirling them. So we went out to the Dandenongs one day and we did like a full-blown photo shoot, and it was still I don't keep in touch with any of the people there anymore, which is a little unfortunate, but it was one of my favorite photo shoots of all time. Like, honestly, it was so much fun. It was kind of at the peak of my creativity in cosplay. So yeah, oh man, such good memories. And the costumes, I just love these. But yeah, the sword was the thing that really was really attention grabbing because it was so large. And I think I did do a video on this as well as the Book of Fables, so I'll hopefully link that down below. But guys, that is all my cosplay outfits that I have here physically. I obviously have a few that are missing. I'll eventually pull them together, and I think I'm gonna have to like vacuum pack some of these because it's just not realistic to have so many costumes taking up so much wardrobe space. Like, you saw how many I had when I would not use these daily, so I need to figure out a better way to store them. And I also need to then actually start like putting my clothes here instead of living out of suitcases and boxes. But yes, very lengthy video. I hope you found it interesting. I found this so nice to walk down memory lane. And I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video, which is not going to be uploaded tomorrow if you're watching this now, probably a few days from now, but I'm going to start filming it tomorrow, and it'll be Christmas Eve, and it's going to be exciting. Violet and Jimmy are coming over. They're going to be spending the night. It's officially our first guests in this house ever. They're going to bring Lottie with them, so all the 6 of us will be together. We'll be cooking Christmas dinner, we'll be opening presents, and then Christmas morning we'll have like a really nice breakfast. And yeah, I'm just so happy. It's Christmas. I'm excited, and it's Bub's first Christmas. I think that's what's making it so special. It's that it's his first Christmas ever, and I never used to really celebrate Christmas much. You would have seen in all my previous Once Upon a Decembers, I acknowledge that Christmas exists, but I don't celebrate it. But for Tobias, because he's German and his family, it's a big celebration. So that's something he's put a lot of effort in, and I'm really excited to join the festivities. So yes, thank you so much for watching. This is Celina reporting from, I guess, my cosplay wardrobe right now. Back to you, internet.